let's look at how to decide on a research methods topic or a research topic. Okay, so you want to think about how you discovered your idea for your topic. So in some cases, you could do something like what factors influenced your topic choice, for example, right? Did you do an extension thought process where you found something out and you wanted to know more? Did you do a replication thought process where you found something out and you wanted to confirm that or reaffirm that or try to find the pitfalls of that, so you're repeating it, so to speak? Did you find a gold reference, as they call it in research, where you find something out and that kind of expands your knowledge of something? So like, let's say it's a citation in text, right? You read that the certain college found that students are attached to their university, and you're like, whoa, that's awesome. They get to attach, and you kind of explore down that rabbit hole. And there's other things like scientific revolution, the paradox behind science, reductionism. There's many more to go along with that. And after you've kind of gone through that path, you need to go back to judging the goodness of your research topic as well. So overall, some good sources for topics can be your real life. You found something out, or you want to find something out that relates to your life. Reflection, you're thinking about something. Something I like to think about a lot is like space science. And even though I'm not an expert, I don't know, I'm not trained or anything like that, I think about it a lot, right? And as I reflect about the different things that could exist out there, and I thought that'd be a cool idea of research or whatnot. You can get assigned or be in a class where you interact with university faculty and you come up with a topic through that. And then sometimes maybe you're just reading. Maybe you're reading something or you're watching something and it sparks an idea. Okay, so when we look at real life inspiration for research, right, we can look at practitioner insights. So whether it's something within your field, like you're thinking of it, or somebody you're working with thinks of this idea. It can be related to organizational websites and conferences. So like if you're going to a professional conference and you go to a session where you're in a discussion or networking or whatnot, and you think about some different things, some knowledge that needs to be gained in order to help out this profession. We can also look at like popular media. So whether that's a website, a newspaper, a magazine, a podcast, whatever it may be, you're taking in information and you're thinking about different ideas and how you need to know more. You need to gain knowledge in an area. You need to figure out why. So with reflection too, so we thought about reflection as a thought process, but really it's going to be a little bit more than that. To come up with a good idea to gain knowledge, you want to think about your experiences within that topic or within that reflection, right? So I mentioned the space stuff, and that's a hobby. So we're talking, hobbies fit in here. It's a hobby of mine to read and learn about space science, dark matter, dark energy, that kind of stuff. But you really want to think about your observation, your hobbies, your different positions, jobs, things you do, right? And there's a lot of variety. But as you think about that and you want to gain more knowledge, right? I also like to go fishing, and every time I go out fishing, I may learn something new, and I think about like, why did I learn that? How did that expand my knowledge? How did that help my hobby? And for students specifically, looking at internship and internship type experiences and how that may affect their knowledge and the development and expansion thereof. Okay, so let's look at a little example real quick. So how personal experience can shape your research career. So this gentleman named Michael Lynn worked his way through college as a waiter or a server, depending on where you're at. He earned degrees in psychology, a master's degree, and he became an expert in tipping behaviors. How people tipped their server or waiter after the experience or the dining experience, right? So something he was associated with, and he worked that into the psychological aspect in his research, right? And what do you want to know is what increases tips? What can we do to increase tips for the waiter or server? And so some things he came up with was the posture of the individual, how they approached the table, how they held themselves, and then writing little phrases on the check like "Have a great Friday" or "Enjoy your night" when they present the bill to them in the little folder at the end of the night. So that's just a way that personal experience can shape your research. Okay, so moving on. we've got ideas from university faculty. So this could be like you're in a course and your instructor tells you need to go out and find some information. It could be you have an advisor and you're working on a project with the advisor, and this is what we're going to do. Or if you're applying for grants or doing some other special projects and you're helping other people, principal investigators or co-PIs or whatever it may be, and you're working together to get these ideas on paper and work through the process of developing them. Okay, finally, let's look at literature as far as research development. You can go through literature as far as journals, text, and some other stuff. As you're reading a journal article and you're thinking about what you're reading and you're developing these thoughts, like how it applies to your professional or personal life, and then also how that can be expanded upon, repeated, or whatever it may be in that circumstance. So if I found out that students that participated in intramural basketball had better GPAs, well, that sounds great. What I want to know is, are there other factors that also may affect that, right? So maybe it's more in regards to not just intramural basketball, but just being invested and connected to the university more so than the university basketball. How do I find that out? I do an extension study. I move beyond just what was found and look for other factors. And so that's something we're going to talk about. When you consider, how do we go about that? Is, do I extend it? Do I repeat it? Is it something that's completely new? Is it a scientific revolution that you just thought of this and it because of your knowledge or experience, you thought this idea up, and it's something new, and you kind of start working through that process with it, and that's possible as well. Okay, so let's go through a few terms that you may need to know as you move through the scientific research process, right? So the scientific revolution is the discovery of a new knowledge that significantly or substantially changes your field or discipline, right? The paradox behind science is the knowledge that evolves what we think is true at one point, maybe later just complete untrue. And that makes sense. An extension study is an investigation in which an earlier study is expanded upon by adding another factor to the mix or other variables or something along those lines, right? And then replication study is when an earlier investigation is just repeated. So you're using the same tool, that kind of stuff. You're just repeating that study. And then we look at a gold reference, and that's a reference that contains invaluable ideas, insights into the research topic or the methods or whatever it may be. It's just like the ultimate nugget, the diamond in the rough. And then we have to think about reductionism. So reductionism is the academic discipline lens we adopt to examine and interpret the world around us. So how is our training, our knowledge, our education affecting how we look at a situation or a piece of information? And that concludes how to decide on a topic